How's your internet working?
It goes directly from the tablet.
So it should be all right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it seems
yeah.
better.
I've used it.
Seems better now.
Yeah, I'm by the window.
Okay.
I've used it for Zoom before without any problems.
Okay.
Maybe Skype is a little more temperamental.
Yeah, maybe.
But
So it
I wanted to show you
we're back.
that passage, the one I plastered.
Okay. Yeah, gorgeous.
This is the plastering I did.
So
My first time at plastering. So
when you first did it, it looked very blue, but now it looks more white and like a tinge of blue. It's gorgeous.
um, it's sort of it's mostly blue mixed with a bit of white.
Mhm.
I initially started out by putting a blue base on, like here, and then adding white at the top.
Okay.
But I decided it would still work better if I added the white to the pasta, mixed it in, and then uh, did it.
Were you mixing two different plasters or plaster
Yes.
and paint? Yeah.
No, no, no. Two different plasters. One, a blue. It was my first time ever, so I went with premixes. A blue premix and a white premix.
Yeah, I found a good company in Japan as well that sent you in a box a pre-mix. I have lots of respect for people who mix it from the dry. That seems like a an extra bit of complexity I didn't want to risk.
I've been seeing videos on doing it, and it seems not. So long as you actually make sure to mix all the powder into it and get lumps of unmixed powder in your plaster, it's apparently a lot cheaper. This is what I'm also currently working on. There was a ceiling in it, a sort of low ceiling in this, and I removed just where that black coving is. I removed that to expose this beam here.
Uh-huh.
But what I did with this beam was just a dirty old beam, so I sanded it down and then used traditional stains, Bengara and Kakishibu stains to give it this nice color.
Nice. I like that.
It's Bengara is iron oxide powder. I bought red and black, and I mixed it about a 30% red, 70% black, and I used the Kakishibu stuff as the binder. And then I gave it two coats of that, and then a final coat of just pure Kakishibu. It gives it come out quite nicely. And the rest of the wood in this room, let me just get
Yeah, when I was
here.
watching you apply the stain and I on the video and I was thinking your brush is so small, it's going to take you ages. You need a bigger brush.
It's not actually, it doesn't take that long actually. It's not that much to do.
You did a great
That's like,
job.
that's
It's gorgeous.
mm,
And your edging is so clean. You did a really great job covering it up before plastering and stuff. Good job.
yes, yes, the masking tape, all that.
Yeah. That takes so much time to prepare, but it's so worth it after.
No, see, if you don't mask it off, you get problems afterwards.
Yeah.
I just put that on a few days ago. Uh, when I took down the ceiling, I found a lot of space up there that's above the built on the household altar in the other room, so it's going to turn that into storage.
Yeah, that's a great storage space. Or you could even make it into a little loft bed if you have lots of guests.
It's actually probably if you wake up in the middle of the night, you're going to whack your head on the ceiling.
Yeah. Yeah. For kids maybe.
Not
Kids
really that.
kids could do it.
Hmm.
The first apartment
But
I
I
ever
love
rented in Japan had a loft bed, and I thought it was lovely.
huh,
Yeah. Kept your bed tucked away.
I love the grain on this beam going across there. So I didn't use kakishibo on that. That's just plain old linseed oil,
Yeah,
boiled
gorgeous.
linseed oil, just to bring out the grain.
I have a picture of
The other thing I can
the
work
wood grain. You've got so many gorgeous big beams with beautiful wood grain. Really nice feature of the house.
yeah, so I love these old beams that they have in these houses. Here in this room, this is a little small room. This room was traditionally known as the Kainama, the It was the room where, when you had the local priest would come round to conduct rites in front of the Buddhist altar next door, he would wait in this room. He'll be shown to this room here to wait until the ceremony started. In traditional houses of this style. The floor here was rather dodgy, so I had to take it up. Ended up replacing a joist and put down a new floor.
Wow.
My first time putting down a floor.
Yeah.
But thanks to YouTube videos, I wasn't as completely terrified as I would be normally ripping up a floor. It's actually surprisingly easy.
Your annotated floor pictures were cracking me up. Found some wood and hammered it in just to support the joist. So you were showing the underneath of the house and adding the support beams. Did you have any trouble like putting in support beams?
Not really, no. Actually, it went rather smoothly. I mean, I even cut like U-shaped things and that for the joist to sit in. But no, it came out quite nicely. This is just the underfloor. It needs a proper floor over the top of it. But before that, I need to redo the ceiling and put something on the walls.
Yeah, in your notes you said the skirting is held on by tabs and grooves, not nails. So even in that floor area, it was all fitted together, was it?
Let me show you. I think can you see it here? There's a there, and on the other side, so excuse the bumps. There's a little hole there.
Yeah.
So one side it goes in the hole, and the other end slips over the top of this little bit sticking out.
Right.
Quite a neat system.
Yeah, very good.
So I was quite happy about that. I didn't have to undo anything. Didn't have to rip anything out.
Yeah, that's nice.
So I'm sort of working on 2 or 3 rooms at once, as it turns out. But a bit on one room, a bit on the other room, a bit on the next room. But I really need to work out what I want to do in terms of a decoration style for these rooms.
Yeah.
I don't want to just sort of cover it in standard white plaster.
Yes, on the walls, are you still thinking of doing that, the Kanazawa style?
Yes, I mean, I like that impression of Japanese design, Japanese style, especially architectural interior design as being earth tones, muted greens and browns and so on. But that's not necessarily the case for everyone. For example, if you take the Katsuradikyu detached villa, the Imperial Villa in Kyoto, there's a tea house there that has walls. I mean, it's 400 years old, so they're a little bit faded now, but the walls were originally bright orange. And this is a tea house for a member of the imperial family. Ichiriki, the very famous tea geisha house in Kyoto, has got red walls. The Seisonkaku Villa I mentioned earlier was built for the mother of the Lord of Kanazawa. Gorgeous coloration. Nikko Toshogu, the Toshogu Shrine, the buildings there, they're famously brilliantly colored. So there's definitely a tradition of bright colors in Japanese design, even kimonos. So I do want to sort of...
Can you show us those decorative wooden beams at the top? What are they? Renma?
Yes, Ramma.
Ramma, right. They're gorgeous. Is that original?
That's, well, yes, it came with the house. I don't actually know the age of these rooms. I think they might have been remodeled at some stage in the past. But the ceiling's nicely lacquered and all that, so I'm going to keep these. Yeah, these are Dhamma quite nicely done.
Yeah, beautiful.
There's a town not too far from here, Inami, which is famous for its wood carving. So it's possible that these were carved there. I don't know. But this is the room with the tokonoma, the inner reception room.
Mm-hmm.
What's interesting about a lot of these Azunodachi houses, they'd have a small tokonoma and a large closet because that's designed to house the Buddhist altar.
Oh.
And this is one of the things I'm very glad I was able to leave in the house.
Wow, it's a really big one. A big altar.
Indeed. So I need to just shift the screen out of the way. So yeah, that's
wow. Look at
quite
that. Is it Butsudan? Is that right?
Yeah, that's a huge Kanazawa style Butsudan. Here, the local style for the Buddhist altars is to cover them in as much gold as possible.
Wow.
Look at that. That's beautiful.
It's like a mini shrine inside your house.
It is. It's not that many either. I mean,
not that many.
Taller than I am.
Wow.
But that takes up all the room that in a lot of other styles of houses would be have the tokonoma would be much wider.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking the tokonoma seemed a little bit narrow, but that's why.
Yeah. Normally you'd have the tokonoma there, you'd have the staggered shelves to the side. But here, in these styles of houses, the tokonoma and then the butsudan, that's the most important part of the room.
So, Jeremy, we only have a few more minutes. Is there anything else you want to show us?
Let me see. Actually, there's one of the selling points of the house for me is that my wife is not very keen on the idea of living or spending too much time in an old house. And I mentioned earlier that in '94 they remodeled the attic level. And so it now has this huge space upstairs, very modern, 1990s, mid-90s. So it's nice and clean, modern floors, big rooms.
Nice natural light up there, lots of windows.
Yeah. And
oh, I love that view. Is that from your desk?
Oh, this was actually a gift from a friend who it was a bit too big. He didn't want it in his place, so brought it around. And
yeah, that works.
I don't know if it's going to stay.
It works well.
Nice old yeah.
Gorgeous view with the mountains.
Yeah. If the weather was better, we could actually see Tateyama from the windows.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Sorry, Louise is asking again, how old is the house? You said 70 years old, right?
Yep, I can hear you breaking. So here's a couple of. So this will be a good place to, like for example, if my father comes to stay, he can sleep up there, because he's not so good at the tatami mats and all that.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to just sort of sit up here and relax and enjoy the view.
Oh, gorgeous. Did you say that's wheat fields outside?
That house out there is a lovely one.
Yeah.
That house out there.
Oh, that is gorgeous. Yeah, across the fields. Yeah, so Louise, it's not so old really, right? 70 years old.
Yes, it's
and you said it's had some renovation work done. But the original beams and stuff looked a bit older.
Yes, actually, looking at the wood in here, I'm absolutely sure that there was a house that stood here earlier, and that many of the timbers have been recycled. I mean, a lot of the timbers in here, I can't tell this because it's covered and protected wrapping, but this timber here is clearly quite old.
Yeah.
It looks a lot older, for example, than the pillar next to it.
Yeah. So there might have been an older house and it was kind of extended or built on 70 years ago,
taken
maybe?
down,
Yeah. Or taken down and reused parts of it. Yeah.
the earthen storehouse on the property dates from Meiji 30, the late 19th century.
Okay.
So I think that would have the house here would have been first built and then sort of taken down and rebuilt in 1952, because the paperwork actually said the house was originally thatched. And although they were still thatching houses in the 1950s, it was very much the tail end of that thing. So I mean, I don't really know, actually.
Yeah.
The main thing for me is that it is the full traditional style, the design, everything that is
Now, one thing that
the same.
a Japanese carpenter, John Stolenmeyer, who I visited in Okayama recently, he said usually in the roof or in the oldest part of the house, there's usually a wooden beam where they have everything written. When it was built, who worked on it, and everything. Have you found anything like that?
Yes, you're talking about the munafada.
Yeah.
There definitely should be there in the attic, but accessing it is going to be difficult.
Yeah, I'm sure.
There is an access hatch, but I don't really want to go crawling around on the new ceilings in case they don't support my weight.
Yeah. But maybe someday, if you discover it, you can unlock all these mysteries about the house.
I'll definitely see if there are more details about that, because paperwork is always slightly unreliable.
Yeah.
It depends more on what people report and when they report it rather than when it was actually built.
Yeah. But how wonderful for someone who has studied so much of Japanese history to live in a house connected to so much Japanese history. It's wonderful.
Yeah. I've been wanting a traditional house for years now. And I've been scouring the Akiya Bank listings in various parts of the local area, for years, and dismissed pretty much everything I saw because it was either too expensive or too far away. I've got visions of buying the perfect Edo period farmhouse that's 2 hours drive away, and thinking, oh, that's a 4-hour round trip. I can't be bothered going there today. And it's the fact that this is like half an hour from downtown, 20 minutes to work. From here to work, there's one stoplight and one stop sign, and that's it. It's a beautiful drive.
Yeah.
So,
that's great. And you've got a gorgeous car. Is it a old Jaguar that you've named Lady Mary? Is it?
Yes, you can't talk about that. Yes.
Louise is asking how long you've been in Japan, Jeremy.
What was it this year? About 30 years.
30 years, yeah. I'm very close to that myself. What a gorgeous car. Look at that. Is it an old Jaguar?
That's a Jaguar XJS, yes.
Nice.
2 doors. The V12 version, because you might as well go for broke.
So you've got a very
that's a beautiful car to create.
Classic car next to a classic house.
Yes, exactly. I do sort of the dream car and the dream house, I suppose. They go well together, I think.
I think so. Very nice. Well, thank you so much for sharing your house and your project with us, Jeremy. Maybe we can reconnect in a few months' time when everything's done.
Oh, it's not going to be a few months' time.
How long do you think your project will last? About a year?
I'm hoping to get it. What I would like to do is to be able to have my father come to visit next May, once the corona thing has died down enough that travel is possible. And so I want to have people be able to come visit from about May next year. So I've got 1 year from now, which should be enough because structurally it's fine. I'm really it's just decoration, interior decoration. I'm working on this, some wiring work and stuff because of the changes I've made, but nothing, like no major rebuilding.
Yeah.
At least so far, there's none needed. I hope there won't be any needed.
Yeah.
But,
Well, I love what you're doing. I love the balance of the original design, some of the original antiques with the new modern look. It's such a unique house in so many ways. And it's so exciting to watch your progress with you. Thank you so much.
thank you for having interest. I mean, uh, it's a labor of love, very much, Sarah.
Yeah, for sure.
It, it has to be, really.
Yeah. Well, I hope I can come visit you someday when it's all done.
Oh, yes, I definitely would love to show you.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Well, thank you everybody for watching today and have a
Thank
great
you.
weekend. And we'll see you for more talks next week. Thank you so much. Bye. Thanks, Jeremy.
Goodbye. Thank you for listening to all this.
Thank you so much. It was great. So interesting. Good luck with all your projects.
Yeah. It's a case of finding the time as much as anything.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Selena. Thanks for joining. She says, thank you. That was so interesting. Louise says, thank you. Really fantastic. Wonderful. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Lauren has said, well done. Thanks, Lauren.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.